afternoon, everyone. This webinar is Unlocking the Power of Research Assistant, the new AI assistant in ProQuest Central. And we have Lori Hetrick, who is our training contact with Clarivate, who will lead this session for us.
All right, great. Thank you. I am going to go ahead and turn off my camera just because I've got some multiple windows open here and you'd just be kind of looking at the side of my face. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then we'll get started. If you have any questions at all, I'll be saving some time at the end. We may not need the full hour on this, but it just depends on what questions come up. But if you want to put them in the chat as well, I can see that too. So I do have some slides that we'll go through, but then we'll jump over to ProQuest Central and see this in action. So my name is Lori Hetrick, and I'm a customer success and training manager with ProQuest, which is now a part of Clarivate. I joined the company in 2022, and before that worked in both public and academic libraries. So just some session objectives for today. We're going to take a look at how the new ProQuest Research Assistant is going to help us review, analyze, and interrogate documents more effectively, expand horizons with research topic suggestions, and then craft more precise and targeted searches. So let's first talk about what ProQuest Research Assistant is before we see it in action. Of course, being part of the academic community, we Clarivate have an important role to play in designing and applying AI tools responsibly. So Clarivate is committed to providing tools that institutions and users can trust, to be transparent about the opportunities and also the risks of AI, and as always, follow academic principles and standards. So by that, Clarivate aims to provide customers with more opportunities to uphold research integrity, develop students' learning skills through deeper engagement with our content, and so on. So again, as an organization, Clarivate maintains a commitment to our core principles, and our core principles are keeping research and learning integrity at the heart of everything that we do. It's all about providing trusted solutions in a transparent way and doing so responsibly. So we've engaged with the library community through our AI Advisory Council, and then we've also had product beta programs and with trusted customer partners to ensure that our products and features are developed in ways that are both valuable and aligned with academic values. So you'll see when we get into ProQuest Central, unlike general AI tools such as ChatGPT, where you're asking it a question, it's answering. This is actually providing users with document insights and other features that are based on the curated academic content. So it's based on the content within ProQuest Central. It does not ensure fully against errors, but we evaluate, test, and validate results carefully and frequently to minimize that risk. And I'll show you where you can also add your comments if you come across something that you think is great or if you think it's not great. And we also collaborate with publishers and have clear definitions of user permissions so that we can provide the best experience to the users. So ProQuest Research Assistant embeds AI features alongside full text documents, supporting review, analysis, and interrogation of these works. So these tools boost research productivity by enabling quick evaluation of the relevance of the full text documents through a number of task-driven features. So as researchers of all levels interact with scholarly journals, trade publications, magazines, news articles, and more, the ProQuest Research Assistant will provide unique document-specific insights that help them understand important aspects about the article and how it relates to their research journey. So ProQuest brings a wide variety of content types to student and faculty. So starting from September, the majority of these content types have seen, have benefited from the research assistant feature. And then you'll see there on the right where it says coming in Q1 2025, that it's actually already here. So research assistant will work with dissertations and videos as well. Just a note here that documents under 150 words will not display research assistant. And then the feature will also not appear on documents from a small number of publishers who have opted out. So just a couple examples here on the left and on the right. So on the left, you'll see ProQuest Research Assistant that's on that right panel there of the document. So we'll kind of talk about the difference here. So there's two different ways that users can come across a document in this example in ProQuest Central. They've either come to the platform and done a search themselves, or they've maybe a professor has shared a link with them in their class, so they come to the document directly. So they haven't done a search on their own. They're just looking at a document because it has been sent to them. So you'll see one starting on a document if a professor has sent them a link, and then on the right is starting with a search. So that's where in that box you'll see those suggested search terms. So that's if the user has started on the platform itself. So for users that start their search on the native platform, again, they will see those suggested terms. So the research assistant provides related terms and synonyms that can help students kind of create a more targeted search query. So by adding any of these suggested terms to their search, users are able to craft Boolean queries without even knowing it, because some users, of course, do not understand what Boolean searching is. One of the biggest advantages of this feature is that it helps users refine the results at the search level using these suggested terms to drive deeper into a more relevant and concise set of results. So clicking on any results that match the criteria of our research assistant targets, users will then see the research assistant document insights feature, which we're going to talk about next. So for users that land on a document view, they will see Research Assistant again on the right-hand panel of the display, and there's three components of the Research Assistant shown here. We start with key takeaways of the article, which is crafted so users have an understanding of what the document is about, just kind of often in just a sentence or two. This section also includes other topics that are mentioned in the document, and then a brief summary of why the document is relevant to the user search query or the subject of the article. Then moving down below key takeaways, you'll see a list of important concepts covered in the document, including a definition when relevant and an explanation of why the term is relevant to the document. And then you'll see the concepts are hyperlinked so that users can run a search on any individual term by clicking on it. And then lastly, the suggested research topics. This suggests potential topics that the user might be interested in to expand their knowledge about the subject, or that the user might use for guidance when trying to decide perhaps which topic they want to write about. And then, of course, next to each research topic, you'll see the little magnifying glass so users can run a search on that topic. Okay, so let's see how all of this works in action here. Let me just refresh this to make sure I'm not going to get that I haven't been logged out. Okay. So this, of course, we're going to do this in ProQuest Central since that's what everyone has access to. I'm just going to begin my search up in the search box here. And I'm going to look for United States economic policy and begin my search. And you'll see here, I have over 10 million results. I haven't put any limiters yet. I didn't put anything in parentheses. I just have over 10 million results. Um, so we see some synonyms or suggested terms here. The way that these pop up or are determined, the ProQuest content has been tagged with specific terms belonging to Clarivate's AI-based topic model. And these are the terms that the research assistant displays on the results page. So the advantage of using a topic model is that topic models can dynamically adapt to new data. So if there's new articles being added, it can identify emerging themes and trends without needing manual updates. So that's in contrast to taxonomies that require constant maintenance to stay relevant. So the research assistant selects the terms or phrases. These are coming because these are the most popular terms or phrases that are being seen within these 10 million results. So if I want to add, say, food security, you'll see how that pops that and food security up there. And our results, of course, start to shrink. But these terms also change because, again, these are going to be the most popular terms that are being seen within these results. So if I add, let's see, sustainable agriculture, we start to limit. Now we're down to 20,000 results. And then I'll just add one more agricultural productivity here to just kind of see how we've narrowed that even further. Again, it's using the and I've built a search without even really realizing that I have. And this again is in beta. And I've had the question of, right now it's just selecting and will it ever get to where it selects or? It could in the future. There's probably going to be some changes along the way. There's also this little question mark here that tells you what these AI search terms are. And you can put comments here if you want to. If you want to say, is this useful? Yes. Is it not? No. And that information and that feedback will get back to the product team. So again, this is in beta. They want feedback. So, or if you see something up here that just does not make sense, please put that there. So there's multiple ways that you can kind of give some feedback to this. So before I move on to a full text document, I just kind of want to point some things out about ProQuest Central just on the results screen. Just to make sure, like with the ProQuest platform in general. Of course, you've got your limiters on the left. You'll see suggested books that may match your search here in the right. There is a quick look option if you're not familiar with it. We can do this quick look without going into the full details page, and we can kind of scroll through our results and kind of look quickly through each abstract without having to go back and kind of click on each one. And then you'll also see your subjects listed here that can also be clicked on. I also want to point out, let me find one that is a good example here. You'll see time cited on Web of Science. Web of Science is not a database that's offered through NC Live, but there are a lot of institutions that do have Web of Science outside of the NC Live that have subscribed to it on their own. So I do just want to point out that this time cited on Web of Science, if we click on Web of Science, this would take you directly, if you have access to Web of Science, this would take you directly to Web of Science. So I did just want to point that out. So let's take a look at one of the full text documents here. And you'll see our research assistant again pop up in the right-hand panel. Again, there's a little information button here. You want to click on information, and this would take you to learning more about ProQuest Research Assistant. I also have the option to close this if I don't want to view it. If your institution does not want Research Assistant active, you do have that option. That is done through technical support. So you can send an email to technical support just saying we would like Research Assistant turned off. So you do have that option. Okay, so looking at this this full text document, we see our key takeaways here. So key takeaways are extracted from this current document that we're looking at. And again, it's just intended to help a user understand what this document is about in kind of an easy to understand way to quickly determine its relevance for their specific search. So you're going to see 3 different paragraphs in the key takeaway. You're going to see a short paragraph on what the document is about. You're going to see a paragraph that mentions additional topics that are addressed within the document. And then you're going to see a paragraph explaining the relationship between the document and our search. So if I had been sent a link to this article, say a faculty member sent me a link wanting me to read this, I would not see this 3rd paragraph because I didn't do a search within the ProQuest platform. So if you're sent a link to a document, then you're not going to see this 3rd paragraph here. And you'll see things like suggested sources. These are not part of the research assistant. These are things that were already there, but they're just in this same panel here. So we have our suggested sources. We also have our index terms that we can click on. We can choose to click on multiple ones of these ones or just one term and do a search using our selected terms. But then we have our 2 additional features of the research assistant listed at the bottom. So I'm going to click on brainstorm related research topics. Okay, so we have our research topics now that are generated. Again, the research topics are generated based on the document that we're currently viewing. This feature suggests potential topics that the user might be interested in to expand their knowledge about the subject, or maybe look at and find inspiration on which topic they may want to write about. Again, research topics are extracted exclusively from the text of the document. They are made up of 2 components. So there's a main topic and then a more defined subtopic. And then you see next to each research topic, we can click on the magnifying glass and we can run a search on that specific topic. It will pop up in a new window here. And you can see it kind of built a more complicated Boolean search because we've got our and we've got our or, and we see some parentheses and things like that. So those can be searched. I also wanted to point out, actually, let me scroll back up here real quick. You're going to see where you can copy each of these. You can do a thumbs up or thumbs down. Again, if you do the thumbs up, it's going to ask, why did you like this feature? But you also have the option to include any text that you would like. Same thing if you want to select the thumbs down. If you see anything that you feel is really inaccurate or perhaps offensive, or just, doesn't make sense, you can use that thumbs down. So to provide feedback. And same thing, as I scroll down, you'll see same thing on the where we brainstorm some related research topics. I can copy and I can do my thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay, so next is the describe the important concepts. And we'll click on that. There we go. So the important concepts and their explanations are, of course, extracted from the current document that we're looking at. So this is a list of concepts that are relevant in the context of the document, and they are sorted in the order of importance in relation to the document. So the definition of terms is not derived from any external sources. It's generated using the text of the document. So with the goal of explaining the concept, but always in the context of the document itself. Each concept is hyperlinked so that users can run a search on any individual term by clicking on it. And then users can also, if we scroll down here, users can also choose to find sources about these concepts, and it's going to search for all of this, which will be quite a lot. We do this. Again, it pops open in a new window because it's putting all of those with or in between. So it's searching all of those topics, but with or. Okay, and again, you can copy, you can provide your like or dislike, as well as your comments. Before I move on to just a couple other things, I want to show you an example of how Research Assistant can also work with videos. Are there any questions about the Research Assistant that you've seen? So again, we saw the suggested terms, and then we saw the key takeaways, brainstorming research topics, and then getting the important concepts. Okay, I haven't seen anything in the chat, so all right. I also wanted to point out again, if you have access to Web of Science, you do have a link within the full document as well. A couple other things to point out here. When we're on the full text of the document, we can click on the publication name itself, and a little box will pop up here. And we can see the journal citation indicator. This can be used to compare the citation impact of a journal to the average journal in the same subject category. So to kind of give you an example, the journal citation indicator is calculated once per year. So a journal citation indicator of 1 is the average for the subject category. So if a journal is cited an average number of times, then it has a score of 1. Most journals will have a journal citation indicator of less than 1, which we're seeing here. We've got our 0.51. So if the journal citation indicator is 0.5, then the journal has received a number of citations equal to half the average for that category. If it's 2, then a journal has received twice the average for the category. So that's what that journal citation indicator is. You can get more information if you click on what's this. This will open up in a new window, and it tells you all about the JCI for short. If you are a subscriber to journal citation reports, you'll actually see additional information here with a link to journal citation reports. But everybody, all customers, will see this JCI indicator. You can also, if you click on any of the author details, if they have a profile, a researcher profile in Web of Science, you can be linked directly to that. You can also go to their ORCID profile. Same thing. So like if I click on this author, they don't have a researcher profile, but I can see a little bit of the author details, and then I can do a search for this specific author within ProQuest, just to kind of show you that as an example. Oops, okay. Okay, let me go back to my results here. And I want to pull up a video. I'm just going to go back and start a new search. And I'm going to just do leadership styles. And I'm going to limit to audio and video. I just want to show you how this works here. I'll pull up this one. When we're in the player, you will see the research assistant here on the right. And when I do show the key takeaways, this is actually pulling the information it's pulling from is actually the transcript. So when I do key takeaways again, this is all coming from the transcript itself. So I've got my key takeaways, and I can brainstorm related research topics. So I did just want to show that you can, that is working now on videos. Again, if you run across anything that does not have the research assistant pop up on the right, it's because perhaps the article is too short, or it could be one of the publishers that have opted out. Okay. Just a couple other things I want to point out here. Sorry, let me get to my window. Sometimes it's hard for me to see because the tools are in the way. Let's see. I was going to show you the ProQuest platform. We do have a video, and I can send this to you in a link because I don't think it's on the ProQuest Central LibGuide yet because ProQuest Central did just recently go live. Well, ProQuest One Academic did too. So here we go. I will send you a link, but it is introducing ProQuest Research Assistant. It is the same slides that I showed you, but it is actually one of the people from the product team as well answering some questions. So if you're interested in looking at that, there is a ProQuest Research Assistant FAQ. And this really goes into more detail as far as if you're interested in, let's see, let me go down here. Like how does the research assistant select the search terms that appear? I kind of gave you an easy definition as far as like it's pulling from the results, but there are terms and how they are ranked in relation to a search that's being done. So this kind of shows you a formula and gives you some more information about how that is, how those terms are determined. And again, if you don't want that on, you can or you can contact support and they will turn that off for you. Okay, are there any questions about the research assistant or even ProQuest Central in general that you have? Yes, right now they are only for the research assistant is live in all of our ProQuest One products and ProQuest Central. So you won't see them in like the individual databases that make up ProQuest Central, right? You won't see them in like the health and medical. Let me go back here. If we go to ProQuest Central and let's change our databases. If I go into an individual database of ProQuest Central, say the ABI Inform collection, I'm not going to see the research assistant turned on there. Hope that makes sense. And it's not to say that it may not come later. I don't know. Again, this is all in beta. So it may one day be for everything. So we will see. It's also any ebooks that you see, it won't work on ebooks right now, but that could be coming later. So we will see. But that was a good question. Are there any other questions? One other question that has come up when I've been doing this is about, let me go back in here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I got a little bit choked up. One of the questions I've gotten, let's go in here. Is the option to Oh, I may have clicked on one that's too short. Let's go to full text and find a longer. Oh, and that's not coming up either. Okay, there we go. One question I've gotten is whether or not you can find the citation if somebody copies this. How would they cite it? There's been mixed feedback on it. Really, the um, goal really is for them to not copy it. It's really not to be meant to be used in that way. But then there's been some institutions that have asked for a way to cite this, and I think essentially it's going to come down to institutional policies on AI and how to cite that. So, excuse me, I'm sorry, I got choked up. So that is one question that we've gotten back and forth. And again, this could end up changing. But for now, there is no way, it doesn't automatically generate a citation if they were to copy this somewhere. So, are there any other questions? Okay, don't see any. Okay, let me go back here to my slides. And I will be sending the PowerPoint deck and links to the information that you see here on the page as well. I'll send you a link to the FAQs if you're interested in, oops, if you're interested in, not sure why that went away, learning more about Research Assistant, but also additional AI tools that are going to be introduced soon or have been introduced in other products. This will link you to not only the Research Assistant, but to some other things happening as well. And then also the ProQuest platform LibGuide, the general LibGuide. I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Oh, I think it would produce the same results for key. If students were to do the exact same search, yes, the key and the key using this terms, yes, they could get the exact same results. And again, the key takeaways and the concepts are all being pulled from the document. So if they're looking at the same document, they're going to get the same key takeaways and the same key concepts because again, it's just coming from that document. When are students going to be able to type in sentences? I don't know. I don't know if that's something that the product team is working on or not, but I can also send you a link to the idea exchange, which is where you can post ideas or things that you would like to see in the future. So that might be something that can go in the idea exchange. And what they do is if enough people comment on it or vote on it, that's kind of how they determine what enhancements or features they may work on first. Yeah, I know that students are used to just being able to search like how they do Google, right? Like they just say a big long sentence or speak into their phone and it does a search that way. And then unfortunately the databases don't work like that. But it's not to say that they may not later on. I don't really know.
Hey, Lori, we had a question come up this week
Uh-huh.
from a member library asking, is it possible to like opt in or opt out of the AI assistant?
Yes. So that is done through support. They would just need to contact support and say, I would like AI turned off. I would like the research assistant turned off from my institution. And then that would turn it off for for their entire platform. So yes,
Okay,
you can opt out. Yeah.
gotcha. Great, thank you.
Hmm. Okay, somebody said, not a question, but a comment. I played around with a music-related subject and pulled up an article. Several of the suggested sources were not music-related at all. The research topics were pretty good, but then I clicked on the magnifying glass for one of the topics and got a list of medical subjects. So that would be a good place on the suggested or the research topics section to click that thumbs up or thumbs down, because if you run across something that doesn't make sense, then okay, great. You said you already did. Yes. And that is a perfect example of what the product team is looking for, right? So again, this is why this is in beta. And we do say AI, there can be some discrepancies or incorrect information. So yes, perfect. That's exactly what we want you to do. So the suggested sources is something that's always been there. That's not part of the research assistant. So that's interesting that the suggested sources weren't relevant. I'm going to make a note of that too. So the suggested sources are not being pulled by AI. So I'm going to make a note of that. Well, so where are those coming from? That is a good question if they're not relevant. And that I'm not 100% sure. So I can find out from the product team what is the criteria for those suggested sources. All very good questions. So what I'll do is Devin, I will send you my slides, but also the answers to these questions that I need to follow up on, as well as the links to these additional sources.
Great. That would be
Yep, yep.
fantastic.
So you can share that with everybody for sure.
And folks, always know that if you have questions about resources that we provide, always know that you can email help@ncalive.org or email me directly, devin@ncalive.org. The more you feel comfortable asking questions, the better we can provide that service and point you in the right direction.
Yes,
But always know that you can reach out. And I
yes,
can forward things to Lori as well.
yes. Perfect.
All right,
All
everyone.
right. Well, I appreciate